Part 2. When I was younger, as I like to tell people, when I was younger, I wasn't given the opportunity that everybody has today. I wasn't given the opportunities because of my size. I wasn't given the opportunity because most people look at me like, you're about the most non-threatening motherfucker that there ever was. Now, two things on how that works. See, if you don't picture me as a threat, if you've underestimated me for that split second, your ass is as good as done. It's just that simple, because you'll look at me, oh, he's 5'3", he's 100 and nothing, I got him. Keep thinking like that, and you're going to go to sleep a lot. Never underestimate your opponent, no matter his size or her size, no matter his or her gender. Don't you ever, as long as you breathe in, underestimate your opponent. The style that my style is based off of, Wing Chun, is for smaller people like me to fight giants. Alright? And you know, for everybody who don't know about kill zones, not all martial arts schools teach kill zones. And again, before somebody delegitimizes me or say I'm bullshit, take a sip of water where it stops. Don't get hit there. This is your intestines, your stomach, your sternum, everything is right here. Alright? Now, I'm not going to say Kiba na Goku works. I'm not going to say the Oranami touch works. Any way you call it, it's supposed to be the touch of death. I have never killed anyone. I have no desire to kill anyone. And I do not know if that works. I did use it in a movie called Dragon's Breath. Way of the Fang is what I called it. But there's no guarantee that that shit will work, because no one's taught me how to kill people by a simple touch. Alright? Now, I will say a Green Beret has taught me how to rip off your fucking nose with my pinky, but I gotta get to your nose. That's the reality of a fight. And they don't say this when they're delegitimizing people. The reality of a fight is really simple. It's you versus me, your defense versus my defense. My strike versus your strike. Who's gonna get that motherfucking first one in? And is that first one going to be the deadly strike that begins or ends the fight? If it's that deadly strike that ends the fight, fight's done the second my head hits the ground. You know, unless you're one of those maniacal evil motherfuckers that we watch on YouTube all the time that's got to kick a man while he's down. Alright? And if you do that, you have no honor. Yeah, okay, of course, unless it's an adrenaline rush and you forget who you are. You know, but you can kill somebody doing that shit. So I don't recommend that you do that. No matter what that motherfucker did to you. Once his eyes is closed, he's done. Don't hit him no goddamn more. He's done. You don't need to send a message. The message has been sent. He lost. He's on the ground. And for you who have lost, don't get up and try to go get your ass kicked again. It's not going to really work out for you if this guy learned how you fight in the first place. Now, there are exceptions to the rule, and I'm going to tell you a little story about that. By the end of this video, if I don't forget that we had this conversation, I will tell you a little story about that and the sparring match that I never got a return bout in. And yeah, I lost the sparring match. So before we go into that, you know, your defenses is everything. Your blocks, your strikes, they are all you have. So when you train hard. Now, when I was younger, I'm a product of the 80s and 90s, alright? So when I was growing up, I was taught, when I was learning karate, it's like when you go home and practice, you practice with ghost men. So your ghost men keep you sharp. So, boom, boom, boom. You know, you have ghost men. And the number of opponents that you imagine you are fighting prepares you for when that shit really happens. Alright? And I'm going to tell you what, because I have another story. I've already told it, but I'm going to tell you, ghost man training does work. Because when I got jumped at the restaurant that I worked at named Kegler's, and I won, you know, I had been training with ghost men since I was like 13. And though I hadn't been in a fight since I was 15, I was already prepared to fight more than one opponent because that's how I trained. I also knew that the fight before my final fight at 15, when I fought 3 people at the same time, and I'm going to tell you why I won before I go thinking that I might be gloating about this shit. I won for 2 reasons. 2 reasons. The first reason is they didn't know martial arts. That was the first reason why I won. I fought people who did not know martial arts in that fight. And if you don't know martial arts, it's highly unlikely that you're going to win against someone who does, unless you're a one-hitter quitter type of person. However, you have to get through their guard and their defense and their strikes to knock them the fuck out. You see how that works out. So when I fought the kids on the pissy mattress, because my friend was like, okay, he was Sting and I was Rugged Ronnie Garvin. So he's like, this is how this works. James, you know Kung Fu. I said, yeah, but Rugged Ronnie Garvin doesn't. He said, but right now, these guys really want to fight you, so you're James again. And pop, I remember who I was. Got the first guy off, got the second guy off. The third guy was a bit of a problem, so I gave him a pull-in sidekick thrust. He got up, he got hurt, he grabbed a big old stick. I grabbed an iron pipe, and I said, you go first. Because I know what I'm doing. He hit me with that damn stick, it was going to be out. I had an iron pipe. So he thought about it, he threw down the stick, I threw down the pipe, shit was settled. We never had any more problems. He threatened to get his big brother on me, but his big brother had got his leg broken by a kid younger than both of us. So that ended that right there. Now, I tell you this story to gloat in that victory because that wasn't really a victory. That was a man who knew a better system of fighting than the three opponents he fought. Alright? It's a whole different ballgame when you're fighting someone who knows what you know. That's the key of number one at fighting. If you're fighting someone and they don't know martial arts or they don't know boxing and they've never been in a fight, there is a thing called beginner's luck. It does happen. Don't think that it doesn't. There is a thing called beginner's luck. But in reality, if he don't have no skills, his ass is going to get killed. It's just that simple. Now, the very next day I got into a fight. It was with a guy 3 times my size. I did a video about it, about my Manunos golf cleats that I thought were McGregor's, but they're not McGregor's, they're Mizunos. They're like some Japanese brand that I still have to this day because they saved my life. And I'm going to tell you, I won that fight because of 2 things. It had nothing to do with skill. Okay, probably had about that much to do with skill. Everything else was complete fear. Complete fear. I was afraid that I was going to die. And when I won that fight, the only thing that was in my mind was, don't let them take you down. And you got to survive. That's it. And while the whole fight was going on, it's like I jumped out my body and looked at this dude and I'm like, you're fucking dead, buddy. But inside my body, it's like, alright, I gotta take this motherfucker out. No, I had to survive. When I first axe kicked him and it didn't hurt him, I knew I was in trouble. I knew I was in trouble right there. But I knew one thing about him. He didn't know that I knew. I knew he had asthma. I knew I was healthy. I knew that if I could induce an asthma attack on him, I was going to win that fight. Henceforth, I attempted to do that by hitting him in these kill zone type areas. He couldn't breathe. He outweighed me by 200 pounds. And the main reason why I won was because I had enough knowledge of my enemy to use his weakness against himself. He was way stronger, he was way bigger, but he was not better. I had been in more fights than him. Hell, that whole week I had been in a fucking fight with somebody at some point, at some time, except for Wednesday. So, that was like the last time anybody in the projects ever said shit to me about me being Kung Fu Joe and being fake. They finally realized, hey, my shit was legit. Nobody ever fucked with me after that until we got to high school, where certain bullies in a certain store, or at least one bully in a certain store, decided to not push his fucking luck. Who's now taking MMA, by the way. Good luck with that, son. And, you know, the thing about that was, it doesn't matter how much MMA you take now versus what I've been doing since I could walk. No, I'm still going to have a little bit more skill set than you because I've been fighting longer than you. And that's the thing about opportunity knocking. I've never been given a golden opportunity to get in a ring at all. However, when I joined the Army and fucked up my hip, it kind of canceled all that out. So now I will never be given an opportunity to get in the ring to showcase whatever little bit of skills I have left. Plus I need a second hip. So let me bring it back around to these 2 stories. Alright? We're going to get the shortest one first. And that was the one that was the last one that happened to me. And It's the only one that I know that I can still take a hit in the face. So I have a cousin who got kicked out of a club. He stole a van of the people who bought him with, and they drove to my house. Well, he drove to my house, and I drove back to where he took the van from. So at this time, this is where those videos you're going to see me training with my hands bound comes into play. Because you may think I'm bullshitting, but this is exactly how this happened. So the guy who owns the van, or the son of the man who owns the van, was skipping like that. Me being a black man, I never seen no black man skip like that before in my life. I seen this skip, the Shane McMahon shit, but I never seen a black man do a girly skip. So when I slammed on brakes, I wouldn't hit the motherfucker. He skipped right on up to the window, BAM! Hit me in the face, broke my glasses, cut my face. I turned to my cousin and said, who the hell? And before I could get that out, boom, he hit me again. Broke my glasses. Blood started trickling down my eye. Now I'm mad as a motherfucker. So I went for the seatbelt. He had the double release, which would not release my ass from that car. I was going to kill him. Without question, God worked in mysterious ways that night. So, my eye bleeding, and I can't get out the seatbelt. And when I finally get out the seatbelt, this big ass cop sets on me. He opens up the door, gets in, he puts his arm under my throat, he puts his gun leg on my leg. So he's on me like this, and I'm pent up against the seat with my head looking at him. And he goes, I got you, son. I got you. And there's a big guy. He's a good 300 plus pounds. He's Albemarle County cop. And he's got me. But he don't have my hands. And he says, I got you. Like 3 times. And I said, actually, officer, if you look at my left hand, I got you. Because my hand is on your gun. And if I really want to kill you, all I gotta do is squeeze. He looked down and seen my hand was right on his holster. All I had to do is get my little finger into that trigger wall. And he's like, you don't really want to do that? I said, no, I really don't. But see, this dude just stole me in the face. Twice. And he broke my fucking glasses. See my eyes bleeding? I'm about to fuck some shit up when I get out this car. You ain't getting out this car. You stole this car. And I told him, I didn't steal the car. My cousin's car. He says, it's not your cousin's car. I quickly calmed down. Gave him my wrist. He slapped the handcuffs on me. And at them old school shits you see me training with, he slapped the anti-lock bitches where this is all the space you have between your hands. That's it. There's no space there. You can't see through there, and that's how his handcuffs were. You couldn't see through there. I gave my wrist just like this. He handcuffed me. I turned my hands like this, and I went to go sit down so they could work this shit the fuck out. During that time, all my cousins telling this guy all these lies about the white girl that we dropped off because there was no white girl in the 4 churches on Rowell Road. We ain't stopped not one time from when I got into the driver's seat on Montrose, which is way away from Rowell Road. So when we get there, and I got stolen in the face by the skipping style of martial arts, cops got me calm, sitting down. The big brother, he's running his damn mouth. Which goes back to, if you watch some of those videos of me showing you what I can do with my hands tied, you'll understand when I tell you this. Because I told him, he's like, your hands cuffed, son. You can't do shit to me. I said, motherfucker, you have no idea who the fuck I am. You think these motherfucking things are fucking handcuffs? I said, these bitches is weapons, dude. If I get over there and I get my hands around your fucking neck, I'm going to push these bitches through your goddamn neck. And then I'm going to go kill your brother. And then I'm going to kill my cousin for getting me involved in this shit in the first place. About that time, the K9 cop that busted our house from next door for drugs came over there and said, get them cuffs off that boy. I know him. He goes to school. He does martial arts. He goes to work. He goes back to school. He goes back home. He goes back to work. That boy does not have a criminal record. Take the cuffs off. And it's funny how he was calling me boy because technically I was kind of older than him. But I guess all cops identify black people as boy. So, and that goes for whatever color your ass is. If your ass is brown, you're a boy or you're going down. So I take the cuffs off and I sat there. And he asked me what happened. I was like, look, man, I was watching SmackDown. And then I'm up here getting the SmackDown. Because my cousin was drunk and we almost crashed twice. Which is why I was driving the goddamn van. But I didn't steal the motherfucker. He's like, have you ever seen this? Man, I ain't never seen them. So I don't even know who the fuck these dudes are. So, after that was explained, I had to walk all the way back from Round Road. From Woofie's, Woodrow's. I was walking out of the putt-putt parking lot, basically. All the way back over here to Rougemont. Now it gets funny from there. So, as I got home the next day, I had an uncle who just wouldn't stop making fun of me. Had my little cut, had to go get my glasses fixed, all kinds of shit was going on. So that just goes to show you that when you're watching those videos of my hands being tied, that was the reason why. Because all my life before that happened, I never, ever, ever didn't try to train in a way that no one else has ever trained. And I've always tried to train with my hands tied. I've always trained blindfolded just because of the simple fact that, you just never know. I would walk up and down my hallways counting from my room to the bathroom. Just like 7 steps in a right turn. There's a closet between my door and the bathroom door. So once you know your environment, you can manage your house blind. You can manage it. If you know where everything is, you can manage it. But you got to practice so that you can know where everything is. If you can know everything like the back of your hand, literally, you can do it blindfolded. Which is why I always trained that way. I only did it when nobody at home so nobody would get injured and so nobody would see me fuck myself up. So that's how that worked. Now, before or after, it was after. Actually, it was definitely after. After all that shit happened, I had a cousin who had a friend from New York. And this motherfucker was brought in to beat me because nobody else could. Alright? And when you got somebody else to fight your battles, that makes you lesser of a man. I never let nobody fight my own battles. I fight them my damn self. So, they brought this little ringer in from New York. Hey, fucker, I ain't forgot you. So we had a little sparring match, and it was a 3 falls takedown. And yes, before we get all into it, I lost. Alright? I'm not ashamed to say it, I lost. But let me explain why I lost. So, I got 7 guys cheering for this guy, and my mama cheering for this asshole. So he's a smoker. I caught that after the second takedown. I knew this guy could not beat me if we went more than 3 rounds, which we didn't. We only went 3 rounds. And the first 2 rounds, he took me down with the same goddamn kick both times. It took me a couple of seconds to catch myself to get my shit together. So when he tried it for the 3rd round, because he had already won 2-0, I was like, oh, hell no. I can't go out like this. So then I got him down. 1 time, 1 more time. And I was like, alright, it's 4 up. Let's go. We got 1 more to go. So, we ready to go. I was a little bit distracted. And I told myself, I'm going to lose. Sure as shit, I lost. From that day forward, I've never told myself that I was ever going to lose ever again. But from that day forward, that was when I hit my I need to wake the fuck up point. But the problem was, he woke up a sleeping dragon. So for 7 whole days after that sparring match that I lost, I chased this motherfucker. I chased him all over Rougemont. Every time he came down here, he ain't had no support group because my cousins were out doing their thing, and he was just here chilling at the house. And I come in here. He wanted to go play basketball. I said, nah, I ain't gonna play basketball. I'm here to spar. It's like, what? I said, nah, you beat me before, so you can beat me again. It's nothing. If you beat me once, it shouldn't be shit for you to be able to beat me again. You should be able to whoop my ass every time you see me. Obviously not. This motherfucker would not fight me to save his dick. He would not fight me. I say, my cousins ain't here to support you. My mom ain't here to support you. It's just you and me. Ain't nobody gonna know if I win because I ain't gonna tell nobody. That's just gonna be our little secret. But this bitch nigga, I'm sorry, I usually don't use that word. But this bitch nigga ass motherfucker would not fight me. His last day here, I tried again. Nah, man, I'm going back up to New York. Nah, I'm good. So then all of my cousins and them, they got this thing on me now. They all picking on me. Oh, you lost to Darryl. You lost to Darryl. You lost to Darryl. And then I shut them up. And I'm going to tell you how I shut them up. And I told them the same thing I just said at the beginning of this little segment. I said, y'all had to go get somebody to fight me because y'all can't beat me. So you had to go get some little pussy ass nigga to come do it for me. I said, so which one of y'all think of us as being more the man? The guy who fought someone else because the 6 people who couldn't beat him couldn't do it, or the guy who fought his own battle, even though he lost, he fought his own battle. He ain't get no ringer from New York. He ain't get no bitch nigga from around the corner. He didn't go get some Joe Blow who can do something. Hey, he stood up for himself, and that was me. So then a couple of my female cousins started talking all that shit, and I said, let me explain this to you. If you think you can whoop my ass, shut up and fight. If you know you can whoop my ass, shut up and fight. But if you do attempt to fight me, I'm going to tell you how this is going to work out. It ain't going to work the way you thinking, because you seen this little motherfucker from New York win a sparring match. I said, fight won't real. I won't try to hurt that motherfucker. He won't try to hurt me. So, everybody stopped fucking with me after that. And then my cousin tragically lost his life. And my cousin was this guy's best friend. Now, in the midst of all that, my other cousins, who were always picking on me and brandishing firearms and threatening to shoot me and shit, well, it's funny how when my cousin died, none of these badass motherfuckers had their straps. None of them. I don't need a gun. These bitches right here have served me well. In every fight I've been in, these bitches right here have served me well. And same with these feet. Not for running. Away from battle. Run into that motherfucker. Let's go. I ain't never had to run from nobody. So, this asshole from New York come back. We at the church. He's threatening to whoop my ass. I was at work when my cousin got shot. But he says nothing. And I mean nothing. To his brethren from New York, who were all there when my cousin got shot. So he's jumping on me at the church. He's eating our food that we paid for. He's talking all this shit on holy ground at Pilgrim Baptist Church. And that's not a promotion or a shout out. It's just a fact. So he's talking all this shit about how he's gonna fuck me up. Fuck me up because I wasn't there to go and help my cousin. I said, first and foremost, if I was there, there'd be 2 funerals. Mine and his, because I'm not bulletproof. But you ain't saying shit to none of these motherfuckers that was there. Well, I tell you what, you know where I live at. 512 Rosemont, motherfucker. Let's go. I'm not going to fight you in the church. So, I get home. I peel off my clothes. I put on some fighting gear. No gloves. Just some nylon pants, a t-shirt. I pull up a steel chair, sit on that bitch like Stone Cold Steve Austin. 5 o'clock go. 6 o'clock go. 7 o'clock go. 8 o'clock go. 9 o'clock. I'm still sitting in that damn chair. I get up and stretch a little bit, sit back down. 10 o'clock go. Wait. 10:30. 11 o'clock go. Everybody start rolling in. So you know me, being the asshole that I am, where's that motherfucker from New York that talked all that shit in the church? Oh, he left after you left. Well, he ain't come here to fight me. So where'd he go? Oh, he went back up to New York. Dragon James wins that one. Because Dragon James sat outside for fucking 6 hours. From 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. waiting to fight this fucker that talked all that fucking shit to me in the church. All of it. I'm gonna beat your ass when I get to your house. I'm gonna fuck you up when you get to this house. I'm gonna do everything I can when you get to the house because you weren't there for your cousin. But he ain't say shit to the motherfuckers that were there when my cousin met his demise. And that shit pissed me off to high hell because I didn't even know the boy had got shot until damn near the next day. Because, 1, I can't recall if I had a cell phone. And 2, I was living with my uncle. So I didn't have a home. I wasn't living here because I was kicked out of this house. Now, we won't go into that definition of why, but I was kicked out of this house. But that asshole in the church talked all that bullshit. Put a fire into my ass, made me ready to rumble, and I got home, folded out my chair, and I sat there and I waited and waited and waited and waited. So then, a little time went by, didn't hear from the fucker. But all the people who were there, they knew the motherfucker. Oh, check this out. That boy that beat your ass, he ISK champion now. And I'm like, oh. So he fought a couple of punk bitches in the ring, but he couldn't fight me that day. He was talking all that bullshit. Then, the next thing though, he done got his weight up. He's ISK heavyweight champion. Yeah, anything that they could tell me about this motherfucker, they was doing it. Just to try to make him look superior. And then I said, well, let me explain this to y'all. I said, because one, y'all can't whoop my ass. And that motherfucker couldn't whoop my ass because he wouldn't have went back to New York if he could have. And two, champion is a state of mind. That you can have a belt and it can prove that you're a champion. But if you're truly a champion, you would not have lost your belts in the first place. Of course, unless it's in the script. But you know, if you're in a real fight, like if you're in the ring with like Mike Tyson and you beat him, you are considered the champion. Because when Mike Tyson came out, there was nobody greater. Then there was Buster Douglas. That one rotten egg who held his championship maybe 5 days. Maybe. Because no sooner than he got the championship, he lost the motherfucker. We call those guys paper champions. But here's how street fight works. Street fighting ain't about no goddamn belt. There is some prize fighting involved. If you find a group of street fighters that can do like Fight Club and put money out there, hey, you're great. But in real life, in a street fight, there are survivors. There are no winners, there's no losers, there's survivors. And I'm one of them. So you can discredit me if you want. You can discredit any other martial art if you want. But I'm going to tell you, when I trained with my hands tied, I trained with my hands tied for a reason. I needed to know if I could fight with my hands tied. Simple as that. I just needed to know. The answer is yes. Because I know how my body works. Now, I will say it will definitely depend on the opposition. Am I fighting one guy? Am I fighting two guys? I will never know because I've never been jumped with my hands tied. But I have been jumped before. You know? And if you haven't ever been jumped before, then you're not going to know if you can take on 2 or 3 people at the same time. I've been jumped before. I've been jumped at least 3 times in my lifetime, and I've won. So I know that I can take on 2 or 3 people. Now, if I get distracted by a chick, kind of like at Kegler's when I got distracted by a dude running his damn mouth, and his other friend bullhog rushed me and then tried to fuck my shit up from behind, you know, everything is situational. The difference is, you know, your experience will be your one true teacher in a fight. And if you haven't really been in a lot of fights and you're not really experienced, you know, anybody can do anything. And if you're not ready for that, you know, it's a good chance that you're going to sleep or you're going to hell. Either way. So when I make these videos, I don't get on these videos to discount anybody. Because on any given day, the winds of fate can change. And you may be good today, and you get in that ring, you may have sprained your wrist, you may have broke your hand, you may have done something before you got in that ring, which could cost you the fight. You know, which is why they always talk about don't have sex before the night before the fight, don't do this, don't exercise too hard the day of the fight. You don't want to overexert yourself. And you know, and I'm gonna tell you 2 things for sure. The night you're gonna have a fight, alright, you're gonna be nervous. Let's get that out the way first. You're gonna be nervous. You're gonna be exceptionally nervous. 2 things you're not gonna do. You're not gonna train. Because you got yay so many weeks to train to begin with. And out of that, if I'm your coach, I'm only gonna tell you you're gonna train 3 days a week until fight night. 2 nights before the fight, you're not gonna train. You're not gonna eat everything. You're gonna train your stomach. You know, you're gonna eat like you've been eating. You're gonna fix your diet. But that's the only thing you're gonna do. You're not going to you're not gonna train. You're not gonna train that day. You're gonna lay down. You're gonna get as much fucking rest as possible. And if possible, you're gonna sleep. You're gonna wake up. You're gonna shower. You're gonna sleep again. You're gonna wake up. You're gonna shower. You're gonna get ready. Alright, then you're gonna get in that ring. I'm gonna tell you why I said that. I can't stop you from having sex. I don't recommend it because I've never really played sports. I don't know if that shit's real or not. Stereotype as far as I'm concerned. If a girl's giving you sex, take it. But, you know, if it's fight night and you think that it's going to fuck up your performance, then knock yourself out and don't take it. I I can't really say how that works because I don't have a girlfriend and I'm not a professional fighter, or at least not legally. So you're not going to train the night before the fight. Your ass is going to relax. You're going to come to that gym and you're going to meditate until fight time. And if meditate means you're going to sleep until fight time, I want you energized. I want you hydrated and I want you energized for 2 reasons. Because your cardio and your stamina are the most important things you're going to need to fight, next to being tough as fucking nails. So that whole first week of training, I'm going to run your ass through the ringer. Because you're going to need it, so your body's going to get used to it. That second week of training, especially if you only have like 3 weeks, if you got like 2 months, we got time. But if you got 3 weeks, you don't have a lot of time. So you need to have your P's and Q's, your I's and T's all straight. So that very first week, I'm going to bust your shit. I'm going to work you till you can't. I'm going to work you till you puke it. Then that next week, I'm going to cut back. That next week before that training, I'm going to cut back. Instead of training 7 days a week, it'll be 5. You know, it'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So that way, you can get that sleep in. Whichever night I miss, that's the night you can get that sleep in. And Sunday. That very last week, and let's say your fight's on Friday. So here's how this works. Your fight's on that Friday, or if it's on that Saturday, your training days is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Training's over. Thursday, Friday, you will do nothing but rest and relax. Maybe do some Tai Chi. Maybe take in a movie. And by taking in a movie, you're going to study your fucking opponent those last 2 days. You're going to study every fight he's been in, unless this is his first debut. Which means there probably won't be a lot of video footage that you can find on your fucking fighting your opponent. You know, that's how that shit works. If you're seasoned, which means you've been in a few fights. So say your record's 0-6. No, 6 wins, 0 losses. This guy's his first fight coming in. He's been busting his ass to fight you. Because you're the top dog between the two of y'all. It's brand new. He's new to the sport. He's gonna do everything he can to put you on your ass. And you're gonna know that going in because that's what I'm gonna tell you. He's gonna do everything he can to put you on your ass. You've been through 6 fights with no losses. With or without me, let's say that's your record. I'm gonna make damn sure that you get to the 7th with either a TKO or a KO on that fucker. If it's his first thing, I was like, under no circumstances do you let this motherfucker take you down. I said, now, I don't know nothing about him. Ain't no video we can watch. So you going in blind. He's coming in hot, you're going in blind. And when he's coming in hot, you need to be ready. So everything that you have done over the last 3 weeks is focus time. Everything else was just baby work. You know, that was just like changing a diaper. When you get in that ring, the real work begin. And my whole 3 weeks or whatever we done, that was just to prepare you to change a diaper. That's it. Because once you get in there, everything we done don't mean shit. Because what means shit is, when this motherfucker throw that first hit, and you take it, are you going to take it, or are you going to go, So I'm hoping that I conditioned you enough that you won't go, It happens. You know, sometimes the best fighter don't always win. And when it comes to events like that, it's highly unlikely that the best fighter will always win. Especially like this guy's hot. He's got babes all over his ass. No, he don't really know the game because he's new to the shit. He only got into it because somebody seen him knock out somebody who was already an MMA guy. No, that's pretty much probably how that works. Because a lot of people stumble into MMA. A lot of us can't get arrested doing MMA. I know this because when MMA first started coming out, when I was like 19, 20, I tried all the places. And what they told my 115-pound ass was, we don't have a weight class for you. We don't have a super phantom weight. We don't have a phantom weight. All we have is lightweight, heavyweight, and middleweight. You're 115 pounds. You don't make lightweight. If you're 130 pounds, you are lightweight. If you're 160 pounds, you're middleweight. If you're 200 plus, you're heavyweight. And heavyweights can go into super heavyweights. So that would be those guys like Brock Lesnar and shit like that. And when 1993 was here, and I was like 19 years old, and shoot fighting was the thing in Japan and Asia, I had no money to go there. Plus, there was a guy who was a little bit smaller, a little bit taller than me, beating everybody's ass. His girlfriend or his wife or his sister or whatever she was to him was beating everybody's ass. And I said, that's what I want to do. But I also wanted to be a cop. So, you know, I was like, I already got the martial arts skills. I don't have any money to get to Asia. So that's pretty much out. But then I started looking on the internet, because yes, the internet did come out somewhere between the 80s and 90s. So I started looking on the internet and I'm like, okay, let me put in my application at REC. Let me put in my application at UFC. Let me put in my application at one of these MMAs. And what I got in return by email was, we don't have your weight class. They didn't do it in an assaulting manner. They didn't tell me to go fuck myself. They told me, you need to get your weight up, because anything under 130 pounds, we don't have that. So, you know, if they had a puny versus UFC, I probably would have been a star by now. But they didn't have none of that shit. If you weren't in the 125, 130 range, you weren't going nowhere. And 125 was pushing it, because they didn't really want you in 125. You had to be 130 to be a lightweight. I was like, but that's not lightweight. But that also depends on your sport. See, for wrestling, 205 live goes from 170, like 177, whatever the hell Rey Mysterio is, to 205, 215. They stop at 230. Once you hit 230 pounds, you are no longer considered lightweight. And that's just for wrestling. But for boxing and amateur boxing, now you have atom weight. Now you have super flyweight. You know, now you have all that. I'm 46 with a hip replacement. Nobody's going to let me get in the ring. Nobody's going to want to pay for any damage that gets done to me if I fuck up. You know, because you're supposed to protect yourself at all time, but you're insured when you get in that ring. I almost guarantee you are insured by the UFC on some level or another, or MMA, because you're not going to get in that ring without insurance. You're not. They're not going to let you get in there without some kind of insurance policy. You're going to sign all kinds of waivers, all that other legal ramifications. That's what's going to get you in there. But outside of that, they're going to take a look at me and like, okay, well, Mr. Williams, you're physically fit and all, but we have an issue with your left hip. You have a metal hip. And from your x-rays and everything, we know that you need a new right hip at some point in time. Now, granted, the Army's supposed to cover this right hip. They will no longer cover this left hip. So if something goes wrong, it's on me. And I could be crippled for the rest of my life. And they are not going to let me in that ring. No one. So that's the end of my dreams of being a martial artist professionally, period. Now, but, you know, the thing about that is, if I had been given the opportunities back in the 90s versus today, how many of y'all wouldn't know who I am? Like today, where no one knows who the fuck I am. But they didn't have those classes back then. They didn't have those weight classes, so you had to take what you can get. So in closing, you know, you gotta understand 3 things about fighting. And you'll understand those in the next video, because this is like 30 some odd minutes long. 10 minutes more than I needed it to be.